happy day 15 of the Get Up and Go Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Yes, I am wearing a purple mask, a purple sparkly mask. What's more fun than that, right? Because I want to talk about a couple of things today. One of them is revealing things, and we want to reveal what's under the mask. Yeah, I'm still here. I was afraid it wouldn't fit over my nose, but apparently it does. They make them very nose expansive. So, I want to talk about revealing, and I want to talk about grit. I was listening to the Rise Up Challenge yesterday. I'm going to give credit where credit is due, although I talk about this a lot, right? I talk about the fact that we get to define what everything means for us. And a speaker that I'm not familiar with by the name of John Gordon shared yesterday his definition of grit, and that he believes that grit is the #1 determining factor in success. Whether you succeed or not is if you have grit. And that each and every one of us needs to define grit for ourselves. And then he went on to describe something that I really want to share. Another thing that I also share a lot, I found, is that for each saboteur or negative emotion that we feel, there's an action that we can take to offset that feeling or that thing. And he broke it down with words that start with D, and I always like alliterations, so I wanted to share this with you as well. He says the 5 saboteurs that increase the chances of us having more struggles or failing at something are doubt, distortion, discouragement, distraction, and division. And we've talked about, I think, most of these in other ways before, but worry and doubt, there's nothing that helps us from worry and doubt and uncertainty. And we're in a huge time of uncertainty, right? And not knowing. And the antidote to that, because I want to make sure I share the antidote with you, is if we're doubtful, if we're in fear, it's hard for us to take action or move forward. So the antidote to that, the response to that, the thing we want to do when we're experiencing and feeling doubt is we want to trust. We want to look for sources and people and resources that we can trust, and then listen and learn and follow them. We also want to trust our intuition and listen to our own gut and our own feelings about what is and is not right for us. Distortion is the lies and the beliefs and the fears and the worries and the doubts that we tell ourselves, right? It's I'm not good enough, I'll never figure this out, I don't know what to do. Those are all lies, right? So the antidote for that, of course, and the response for that is to speak the truth into those lies. Say, hey, what the heck, I am good enough, I've done this, and this, so I'm absolutely positively more than capable of overcoming having to stay at home with my kids for a couple of weeks, right? So distortion. Our false beliefs, and none of us think our beliefs are false, but they absolutely are, become distortions because they're lies. And so the way we combat lies is by speaking the truth. Discouragement, being frustrated or upset or wanting to give up, doubting that we doubt again, just feeling discouraged or hopeless, is very, very common, and it will sabotage our success and our forward progress in any area of our life if we let it. But how do we respond to that? What's the antidote for that? It is, of course, encouraging ourselves and others. Use affirmations, which we're going to talk about in a couple of days. Use positive self-taught. All of this is to take and flip the switch from negativity and doubt and worry and fear to positivity, because negativity is one of the biggest factors that will sabotage anything that we want in life, right? The other one he said is distractions. And there's a lot of opportunity for us to be distracted right now. We're working in different environments than we've ever worked in before, many of us. We are having other distractions. We're home with our pets and our kids and the TV and the kitchen and the basement that needs to be cleaned out. And whatever it is for you, there's many opportunities for distractions. Even though we're not going out and about and interacting with people to be distracted, the news and the media and all kinds of things can serve as distractions. And it's up to us. Antidote and the response for that is, of course, to choose what it is that we want to focus on. Focus on the things that are important to us. Focus on the things that make us feel good. Focus on the things that will move us in the direction that we want to go. So instead of watching the news or watching the media or having Netflix watch-a-thons, have a chance where you go on the computer and you look for something you're curious about. Find a topic or a subject or a course or a free master class or whatever they call them of something that you're interested in and that you want to focus your attention on. Focus on things that make you feel good. And the last one is division. Now, this current pandemic is creating a lot of physical division for many of us, but it doesn't mean that we can't have the appropriate response to feeling alone and divided. And the response to that is, of course, the antidote for feeling divided is to find unity and love, right, in any situation. So look for how you can come together with people. And there's a lot of things, in a lot of ways we can, especially with technology and the way we've got the internet nowadays. If this had happened even a few years ago, we would be in a lot worse position. But look for people, go online, look for Zoom calls, look for people, look for your friends, interact with people, communicate with them any way that you can. We still have phones, right? Our phones are working. Our internet, for the most part, is working. Zoom is working, and there's all kinds of other technologies and platforms that you can use to interact with people. Facebook video calling, if you want to see people. Zoom. There's so many ways that you can interact with people. Now, the other big thing that I want to talk about pandemics and things, and I'm going to take my mask off for this mainly because my face is getting hot, is times of challenge reveal to the world who we are. You know, they say that money won't make you a better person. Money will just reveal to the world who you were all along. So if you were a jerk and a very unkind, terrible person before you had money, you're going to be a jerk and a very unkind person with money. The same is true in crisis. Crises don't change unless we choose to change who we really are. It just reveals and shows who we really are to the rest of the world. It shows what we value, what our priorities are to us and to other people, as well as what we're committed to. I like the word grit because to me, grit means what I am absolutely 100% in my soul committed to. And that's what commitment means to me. It's doing what you say you're going to do. It's being consistent. And I think I've said before, you can lie to other people, you can fool other people, but you can really never fool yourself. So it's really more about what are you personally committed to than what you're telling the world you're committed to. You know, we tell the world, most of us have the same wants and desires, right, in the world, the big ones. But it's when we dig down to really find out on a personal values and priorities level, what are we actually individually committed to? And I shared a story about my family, and that I always believed that my family was number one and that I was 100% committed to them and they were my number one priority. Yet, when I was younger, I didn't act that way. I put work before my family. I put making a living before my family and money before my family. So I was demonstrating to them that even though I believed in my mind, and false belief, right, that working all the time and working really hard and making a lot of money was for them, it really wasn't for them, because what they really wanted was attention and love and time, right? They didn't care about the money. And we don't, until we have something happen to us, it isn't revealed to us what really, really matters to us. Same with our health, right? And right now, the whole world is getting a wake-up call with respect to our health and our relationships. And even our work and our businesses, what's important, and money, right? It's kind of this massive explosion and implosion for each and every one of us to say, okay, well, what is really important to me? Yep, this is how my world was before, and I see what I was doing, and yes, some of that worked, some of it didn't work. What if it didn't work? Can I make an adjustment and a change to now? Because I have this huge opportunity to do that. So what do you value? What do you really value? What do you stand for? I mean, it's an opportunity to look at, what do I stand for? What is really, really important to me? And there aren't right or wrong answers, because each and every one of us get to decide what is important to us, what things mean to us, what we value, what we want to spend our time and energy on, right? What we want to spend our resources on. And up until now, time was our most limited resource. And for many of us, we're realizing that time was just our excuse. It wasn't necessarily limited. It was just us showing what we did or did not want to make a priority. And now we're being honest with ourselves and saying what really is a priority to us. So challenges reveal to us who we really are and who we really have always been. We just might not want to have seen it. I've been discussing this a lot with my business clients, and we've been talking about how we lead and how we choose to behave and how we respond in this situation is critical right now. If we are being really small and shrinking in and not communicating with our customers, if we're not showing them and asking them how we can help them, if we're not at least in touch with them in some way, shape, or form and letting them know that we're here and that, yep, we're down right now, but we'll be back. And is there anything we can do to help or serve them in any way? What kind of problems are they having that we might be able to help with? After this starts to shake out, our businesses are going to be hurting. We're going to be hurting. If we have just hunkered down and we haven't, I guess it's the whole, we're revealing to the world exactly who we are and what's important to us, and what our priorities are. So we need to realize that we're doing that, whether we're conscious of it or not. So our action item today, let's just stop rambling, Sharon, and get to that. Our action item today is to share one thing that this current situation, which happens to be the COVID-19 pandemic, share one thing that this has revealed to you about your values and your priorities. It might be a surprise, it might not be, it might be a reinforcement. I'm going through this Rise Up Challenge that I mentioned, and one thing I'm loving about it is a reinforcement of what I'm personally doing and what I've been doing for the last decade and the direction that I'm moving, and I'm getting to hear, you know, validation and reinforcement from all of these extremely successful, amazing people that I'm not crazy and that I am on the right track for me. And sometimes that in and of itself is all we need, right? It's just to know that, oh yeah, I believe that too. I think that too. I've thought that all along. I've been talking about that for 20 years to people. Oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. So there's the validation. That's been a realization for me, is that there is a validation in my thoughts and feelings and beliefs, and that I'm not that different from other human beings when it comes to doubt, worry, fear, negative emotions, you know, the way I react to things, triggers. We all have them. So our action item, share just one thing that this current situation has revealed to you about yourself. Don't say about anybody else, because this is about you becoming the best version of yourself during this Get Up and Go challenge. So just share one thing. One thing. Could be a good thing, big thing, could be a little thing. Doesn't have to be anything embarrassing. If you say, you know, if you're afraid to share it, it's probably important that you do, because it's the biggest aha and the biggest lesson that you've ever learned about yourself. At least that's what I found, is the things I'm afraid to do are the things that I really needed to do the most. That's it. If you have any questions, if you need help with anything, just ask in the comments below. That's what I'm here for. And I will be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.